Have you ever won lane and still lost as Yunara? Yeah, me too. But let's fix that. This matchup guide will cover early laning and win conditions for the mid to late game, so let's get into it. This guide explains the theory behind ADC matchups as Yunara, so your games might not look exactly like what I'm going to describe. Now I know what you're thinking. Sounds boring, right? So why bother learning theory? Think of it like trip planning. You won't be able to control traffic or the weather, but you'll know which turns to take and which dead ends to avoid to reach your goal destination. Learning lane matchups will allow you to understand what your optimized lane should look like amongst the solo queue chaos. The more you know, the less you'll second guess yourself, or even worse, focus on the jungle who is allergic to your bot lane. All S-tier matchups share one key advantage: early game push power. Yunara Q allows her to easily clear waves, and her 575 range lets her do it pretty safely. Get 6 stacks of your Q, then auto Q the enemy champion to poke and push the wave. Yunara likes short trades with auto Q or W auto, and likes long trades with lethal tempo when she isn't getting focused. Compared to Zeri, Yunara has wider AoE spread and more mobility in the mid to late game. She out DPS's Senna, Smolder, Xayah, and Samira from mid to late game, with exceptions being Smolder at 225 stacks and Senna reaching 100 plus souls. Yunara loses wave push to Jhin, Varus, and Jinx, as Jhin can spam Q, and Varus and Jinx have AoE spells to wave clear. She can beat Kai'Sa in push if she can keep her Q active, and against the rest, she typically wins push. Now here's where it gets interesting. Have you ever noticed that a champion like Jinx, who should get prio, sometimes doesn't? In theory, push power and fighting power can be described as having a one-way relationship. Just like having a fever can mean you're sick, having fighting power can mean you can get wave push. But even when you have a fever, you aren't necessarily sick. So push power doesn't always equate to wave push. If you can fight the enemy off of the wave, you can get wave push. But if you do not have similar or better fighting power, you cannot get push. With this new information, you can now see that Ashe with her extra range can fight you down the lane, Kai'Sa can walk up to you and auto Q to fight you, and at level 3, Nala can use her W to fight most ADCs. All of these situations can result in wave push for the enemy. In teamfights, if Yunara is equal or ahead to any of these champs, she will outscale all of them at 3 items onwards, with the exception of Jinx getting 3 passive procs in teamfights and Kai'Sa assassinating Yunara with hard dive or outranging her with her W. From here on out, Yunara's fighting power early game is going to become an uphill battle, so I'll skip push if she loses fighting. Kalista absolutely curb stomps Yunara to level 6, whilst Vayne does the exact opposite. She only starts winning skirmishes level 6 onwards, so avoid isolating yourself. Corki, Lucian, and Ezreal, similarly to Jinx and Jhin, can spam abilities on the wave for push and fighting. If they cannot kill you after using their spells, Yunara wins long trades with her lethal tempo, so take advantage of that. Versus these 3 spellcaster ADCs, slow fights with range will win them a team fight, whilst fast fights with Yunara picking off a target and then moving on to the enemy ADC will be winning for Yunara. Yunara outscales Kalista at 2 items onwards, whilst Corki, Lucian, and Ezreal get outscaled at 3 items onwards. And Vayne outscales pretty much anything if she can get onto your backline. Misfortune has much better short trades and longer range with Q and E, but Yunara can win long trades with her lethal tempo. Yunara beats Tristana in lane with her higher range and Q and W push, but Tristana usually wins if she can get her W off right on top of you in a 1v1. Kog'Maw has stronger fighting only when his W is active, so if he can get 3 or more autos every W, he's gonna win in fighting. So try to kite him when his W's up. Twitch will destroy Yunara in short trades and long trades, but Yunara outranges, so she should be able to push and kite the Twitch early on. All of these matchups mid to late game have key abilities you need to dodge to 1v1. MFR, Tristana W, Kog'Maw Q, and Twitch R. Now don't worry, the good old reliable R plus E will help you disengage to win most fights versus these champs. Now that we've reached the D tier, you'll see why all of these champions end up giving Yunara the D. She's either outranged, outpushed, or outdamaged pretty much the entire game. The only win condition in these games is having a stronger support to get through lane, or utilizing her mobility in team fights later on to deal higher DPS while keeping herself safe. As my way of thanking you for making it this far into the video, here's yet another challenger secret. There exists a concept called skill floor and skill ceiling. When pro ADCs look to minimize their losses, they increase their skill floor by reviewing every single death. By doing so, these players find certain patterns to their deaths that they can use to prevent future mistakes. For example, dying on side lane as ADC can indicate a lack of map awareness when split pushing. The fix would be to look at your map every time you push a side wave to make sure that you can push that next wave. If this helped you stop running it down, hit that sub button. Every subscription is one more ADC save from dying in the side lane.